Chapter 60:14. Seeing that Simon kept his head down silently and thinking, Helena knew that he would definitely not pass on the title of head of the family to Steve as planned. As expected, Simon raised his head, smiled, and said, "Your Majesty, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come to New York to attend the internal meeting of the Rothschild family to establish the heir. With your presence, the Rothschild family has flourished." Helena pretended to be surprised and asked, "Isn't it going to announce Steve's succession today? How come the heir has been determined?" Simon waved his hand and said with a slightly embarrassed smile, "The plan can't keep up with the changes. Changes can't defeat the plan. Before this morning, I never thought that I could recover again, don't you think?" Helena smiled slightly. "Part of the reason why you can recover is Steve's filial piety." Helena said this, but she couldn't help thinking in her heart, Simon really regretted it, which completely confirmed Mr. Wade's speculation. He always predicts things like a god. Since Simon planned to pass on the position of head of the family to Steve because of his helpless stroke, then as long as his stroke is cured, he will definitely give up this idea. Sometimes, the logic of human nature is the same as that of chemical reactions. After water is electrolyzed, oxygen and hydrogen will be generated. This is the formula of the chemical reaction. If the electricity is unplugged, the water will still be water. Simon was the patriarch of the family, and it was water. But when he suddenly suffered a stroke, it was electricity. The oxygen and hydrogen produced by the electrolysis of water were the result of Simon's plan to give way to his son Steve. Therefore, only after Simon, the patriarch of the family, suffered a stroke, would the result be that he gave way to Steve. Now that the key condition of the stroke is gone, it is equivalent to unplugging the power. Then the result of Steve succeeding as the patriarch will naturally be gone. Because of this, in Charlie's opinion, if Simon continues to pass on the throne after recovering from his illness, it is equivalent to a pool of water left to dry and it will decompose into hydrogen and oxygen. That is a ghost. At this moment, Helena sighed and said to Simon, "Mr. Rothschild, since your plan has changed, I will not participate in the next meeting." Simon asked puzzledly, "What's wrong with Her Majesty the Queen? Why doesn't she want to participate? You're already here, why not stay and guide and witness?" Helena shook her head and said, "In addition to making deals with you, Mr. Rothschild, I am here to establish a relationship with the patriarch of the Rothschild family. A basis for future communication. If Steve takes over today, I should naturally witness it on the spot and establish a good communication basis with the new patriarch. However, Mr. Rothschild does not plan to retire now, so I came to New York this time. All goals have been achieved, and it would be a waste of time to stay." Simon understood the meaning of her words immediately and said with a smile, "Her Majesty the Queen is indeed a master of negotiation. You are so young and can negotiate well. I have never seen someone with such good rhythm control before. With Her Majesty the Queen at the helm of the Nordic royal family, it will surely skyrocket." Helena smiled and said, "Mr. Rothschild thinks too highly of me. I can control it well. The rhythm is entirely because I have a good teacher." Simon quickly asked, "I wonder who the teacher of Her Majesty the Queen is. If there is a chance, I would also like to meet him." Helena said lightly, "My teacher's behavior style is relatively low-key and doesn't like the vanity of fame. But I believe that Mr. Rothschild will have a chance to meet him in the future." Simon smiled politely and said, "That would be great." Helena said, "It's getting late, Mr. Rothschild, I'll leave first." Simon nodded, and when he saw Helena turning to leave, he thought of something, and quickly stopped her and said, "By the way, Her Majesty the Queen." Helena turned around and asked curiously, "What else Mr. Rothschild has to say?" Simon asked with concern, "I wonder if Her Majesty the Queen's magical oriental pills are still available. If so, I want to buy more." Helena shook her head, "Mr. Rothschild, this kind of miraculous elixir is rare and hard to come by. Each one requires great opportunity. Think about it, one person, in a lifetime, how many times can we have the opportunity to escape death and get a blessing in disguise?" Simon said with a smile, "People are greedy. Although I had such an opportunity once, I really hope to have a second time or even a third time. 3 times, if Her Majesty the Queen has this opportunity, please don't be stingy, I will definitely give Her Majesty the Queen a satisfactory price. A satisfactory price? Helena muttered, deliberately smacking her lips, and said with a bit of disgust. With all due respect, considering your worth, Mr. Rothschild, you are really not a good buyer. I believe that even if I still have this elixir, I will never trade with you again in the future. Simon asked subconsciously, why did Her Majesty the Queen say this? Helena pursed her lips, shrugged, and said calmly, maybe it's because I don't like bargaining. If there is a next time, I will find a more cheerful buyer, which saves time and makes me feel better. You are also in business, and you must have been a seller. When you are a seller, the buyer on the other side is always preoccupied, hesitant, or even doubts your integrity and the authenticity of the goods you sell. Then you will definitely not be happy. Simon knew that Helena was mocking his bargaining behavior just now. At this moment, although he felt a little unhappy, he also realized a big problem. If Helena hadn't said angry words, wouldn't he have missed the next chance to renew his life? Thinking of this, he suddenly felt very regretful about his bargaining behavior just now. So, he said without hesitation, Your Majesty the Queen, don't be angry. I am a businessman after all. I am used to bargaining. Even if it is a dime, I will find a way to lower the price. If Her Majesty the Queen feels uncomfortable, then I won't make a counteroffer at all. I'll make up for the $10 billion for you, right away. Do you think that's okay? Helena waved her hand, no, as you said, purchase AI models. The hardware also requires costs. I would rather suffer a loss myself than let you suffer a loss. After all, Mr. Rothschild, you are so old and have had another stroke. If you suffer a loss that affects your mood, and you will suffer from another disease in the future, then am I not a sinner? No. Simon could no longer care about being ridiculed. He hurried to Helena and said very excitedly, purchasing hardware for Her Majesty the Queen. This is what we should do. Your Majesty, please don't be polite. After saying that, he said with a regretful look on his face, Your Majesty, I am old, and I have many old habits left over from decades in my thinking mode. And bargaining is one of them, but Your Majesty, please rest assured that we, the Rothschild family, will never bargain again when doing business with Her Majesty the Queen. After experiencing the powerful efficacy of the blood-dispersing and heart-saving pill, Simon was keenly aware that this thing must be a life-saving artifact. Although he has recovered now, he is old after all, and other problems will definitely arise in the future. And doctors have also said that strokes are very easy to recur. Almost 20% of stroke patients will have a second stroke within 5 years. If it happens again, his body may not be able to bear it. Therefore, if you can buy an extra blood-sparing and heart-saving pill or pre-order one, you can sit back and relax. He is not sure whether Helena has a second one now, but he knows that he cannot let her leave New York with opinions and dissatisfaction. In that case, if he wants to buy it again in the future, he may really have no chance. Helena saw Simon's anxious face, which almost contained one sentence. I can't let her run away. She found it funny and couldn't help but ask. Mr. Rothschild, will this make you too embarrassed? Or forget it? You are so old. If you are unhappy because money matters, how can you feel good about it? Business is second, and health is first. Simon knew Helena was teasing him, so he could only bite the bullet and apologize and said with a smile. No. This is the money that should be given to Her Majesty the Queen. If this money was not given to Her Majesty the Queen, I would be unhappy and even have trouble sleeping and eating. So please don't refuse. Helena thought for a moment and then said helplessly, since Mr. Rothschild said so, well, I will not be disrespectful. Simon said hearing this, he felt more excited than making money. He immediately contacted his financial manager again and blurted out. Hurry, add another $10 billion to the account just now. After saying that, he glanced at Helena, seeing that her expression was extremely calm, he was worried and said quickly. No, 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 send 15, oh no. Send 20 billion. As his most trusted confidant, the other party immediately said, Okay. Sir, please wait a minute, I will make arrangements. Helena raised her eyebrows slightly but said nothing. After Simon hung up the phone, she pretended to be surprised and asked, Mr. Rothschild, what did you just say? Isn't it inappropriate to remit 20 billion? Simon also saw through Helena. This woman is also a superb actress. If she really thinks it's inappropriate, she should have said it earlier. She didn't say it until he hung up the phone. Is it too obvious that she's faking it? However, he now understands that Helena, who is in her 20s, is not someone to be trifled with. Since he wants something from her, he must not have any thoughts of bargaining, otherwise he will be the one who suffers in the end. Now that he is quite old, it's not a good feeling to lose money and lose people. So, he hurriedly said, Your Majesty the Queen, this 10 billion is to make up for your payment. And the other 10 billion is a little bit of my thoughts. I did do something inappropriate just now. Please don't mind.